Hello, and welcome to the 5 Key Things to Thrive Lessons You Wish You Knew Sooner. I'm so pleased to have you all here. Welcome to today's show, where we spotlight women and leaders, visionaries, entrepreneurs, and change makers from all around the world who are using their voice to make an impact. I'm your host, Raimonda Jan, and today we are going to be talking about redefining success on your own terms and rising into your next level self. And my lovely guest today is Karen Sarmento, who is dynamic success strategist. Hi, Karen. Where are you joining us from?
Hello, Raimonda. I am in Massachusetts, in the United States.
Amazing. So excited when I heard that this is what we're going to be talking about today, about redefining success on your own terms. I just thought about so many women I have connected personally who seem to have done it all, checked off all the boxes, built a successful careers, but they still not feeling like they are successful, or they don't feel like they're living on their true purpose and alignment. So that's what today we're going to be talking about. And my guest, as I said, is Karen Sarmento, who's a dynamic success strategist for high achieving women who are ready to redefine success on their own terms. And she specializes in guiding women in, despite their outward success, how they can feel more successful on the inside, not feeling confined by other people's expectations. So she's also the host of We Are Meant for More podcast. So I highly encourage you to go check it out. So she empowers women to tune into their inner voice and silence the self-inner critic that holds them back. And that's how she helps transform women from feeling unfulfilled to truly living with confidence, clarity, and renewed sense of purpose. Karen, lovely to have you here today. Welcome.
Thank you for that amazing introduction. Fantastic.
5 things to thrive. I mean, this is really about condensing your experience and your knowledge of how women can thrive and find success, that what it means to them. What does success look like to you now?
Success to me now it's all an inside job. So it's something I feel on the inside. It's just a knowing. It's more about connection. It's more about relationships. It's more about just feeling fulfilled, feeling like I've now answered that little whisper that I always heard in the background, that I just knew I had a bigger purpose. And now success to me is knowing that I'm listening to that whisper and that I'm taking action towards my purpose and just connecting with the people that matter in my life. It's all an inside job now. It doesn't come from the outside.
Yeah. And I know that you've had a very successful career. You've done a lot of things in your life. What brought you to this point now?
Such a good question. It's been a little bit of a journey and a little bit of time in coming, and it doesn't always have to be some dramatic emotional hit to your body for it to click that something's got to change. But for me, it was. For me, when my son's father passed away very unexpectedly, it was a very eye-opening experience for me about how I was showing up, or I should say actually how I wasn't showing up in my life as the person I was meant to be and the person that I needed to be for my son, for myself, for my purpose, for many reasons. But that was the eye opener for me, that something needed to change.
Yeah. And I know you achieved a lot of things in your career already. So what were the things that you feel like, okay, I've achieved it all, but I still don't feel fulfilled, or I feel like I am living my true purpose?
Yeah, I graduated from nursing school, and then I went back for my master's, became a nurse practitioner, got some certifications, got another coaching certification, another certification. It was always looking for that external validation that I was enough, or that I was worthy of people declaring that I was successful. It was always waiting for approval from the outside world to say that I was successful. And
Yeah.
it was, I never realized I needed to feel that on the inside before anybody else was going to see anything else. But it really wasn't, in the end, it wasn't about what other people thought or saw like I thought it was. Yeah.
Amazing. So let's dive right in. The 5 keys. Would you share some of those secrets that you wish you knew sooner whilst you were looking for the success inside of you?
Oh, I would love to. I would love to. You want me to dive right in?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. The first thing I wish I had known sooner was that I had to be accountable for everything and anything that was going on in my life. So, any results I was seeing, anything that was going on, good or bad, often the tendency is to want to blame somewhere else, like for why this is happening to me or why me. But I wish I had realized earlier that when you take responsibility for everything in your life, that's when you really have the power to change things. It sounds scary to think of I'm the problem, but the empowering piece of that is if I'm the problem, well, then I'm also the solution. So when we take accountability for everything and anything that's going on in our lives, we now have the power to change that. So I think having accountability to oneself is something I really wish I had owned way earlier in my life. Now, when anything that goes on in my life, I always ask, "Ooh, what role did I play in that?"
Yeah. I think it's a really powerful starting point in the realization that this is your life and you have the power to shape your future. So if you're happy about what's going on, you can take accountability, but also equally, if you're not happy about something going a certain direction, starting with yourself. And as a leader, when things are not going right in my business, let's say, I start with myself. Like, was I leading it right? Did I make any mistake? And I think starting from oneself is a really powerful tip that you just shared.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. What's the next part of it?
So the next thing is actually being aware of where you are in your life right now. How are you showing up? How does your life look to you? And sometimes we just get so caught up in jumping in the hamster wheel every day and just go check off the boxes of all the to-do, all the list of to-dos for the day. And we don't ever stop, or at least I wasn't stopping to actually question, why am I doing that? Or what's the purpose in that? Or, geez, I'm doing that, but why? Do I even agree with that? Or do I even, I don't know. So it's actually about being aware of what you're doing and why, but to take it one step further, actually being aware of the things that you're doing that fuel you and the things that you're doing that drain you. And I think people, women in particular, I know I was guilty of this for many years, but just the people pleasing tendencies to do for everybody else first and just to do what's expected, because all the shoulds, I should do that, I should do that. And then before you know it, you're drained and you haven't even taken a moment to realize what fuels your soul, what fuels your heart, and really what your purpose is. So the things that fuel you, do more of that. And the things that drain you, to try to do less of that.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it also comes back to so much social conditioning that you should, especially around the success part, that you should get educated, go to college, get a job. And I find that still, in some respects, I'm battling some of those beliefs of others to some extent. People just have certain expectation of us, but what's that self-awareness, as you say, what makes you happy, where are you now, and what makes you happy? It's a really powerful part.
It is. And being willing to stop and take a look, which is sometimes hard to confront yourself in the mirror, like, wow, to question the way we've always done it.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. What's the next step?
The next step is to redefine. So redefine what success actually means to you. So, and for everybody, this will look different, but to actually consider dreaming again. I mean, we were taught for so long to be realistic and set realistic goals and to get the degree and just to follow the natural, what everybody else does and did to be successful, but to actually redefine what it really means to you, whether it's the relationships, whether it's your parenting, maybe it is your career, finding your purpose. It's really a personal piece right here, but figuring out what makes you tick, what really lights your soul on fire, and what really is your why. That's another piece of redefining what really drives your decisions and what really drives you to show up as your best self. Because without a powerful why, it's easy to abandon the project when it's not really powerful.
Yeah. And that's such a deep connection. I always say, when you wake up in the morning, remind yourself of why you're doing what you do, because it's so easy to follow somebody else's path of expectation, or just, this is what we should be doing. Again, it comes back to that conditioning, isn't it? So redefining what success means to you. I love that. Amazing.
I'd say I'm so glad you brought up when you wake up in the morning, because yes, if you have a powerful why or your drive is, you're really passionate about it, waking up in the morning should feel like, here we go. Like, let's start the day. It shouldn't feel like, ugh, here we go again. It's not supposed to feel like that.
Yeah. And it can feel, and I want to speak to those who especially might be stuck in a particular role or in life situation where they just feel drained. They feel like they're not living their life on their own terms. Because I know, Karen, this is something you've done also successfully. You've escaped your career, long-term career. Mm-hmm. For me personally, it was different life circumstances, which I was like, yeah, it seems on the outside that everything is perfect, but on the inside, I know it's not how it's supposed to feel. So let's look into it. And that caused a massive shift in my life that landed me on the path of where it's supposed to be. And that was huge.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love that. And I think that is often what happens is when you take that big step, or you actually listen to that inner voice and then act accordingly. Like for me, it was leaving the career of 20 plus years. And that can be scary, but it's also really empowering. Like, here we go. I'm listening to my inner voice, and I know I have a bigger calling and a greater purpose, and pursuing that, it can really light you up.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Honestly, the feeling, and I can see you also lit up speaking about it, because it's been your long life dream, isn't it, to do what you do now?
Absolutely. And for so long, it's the questions, it's the doubt, it's the, who am I to do that? Or I can't possibly leave my career. Like, who does that? I'm like, wait, people do it and people are succeeding. And why not me? So I think so we kind of talk ourselves out of things. But what if we were to ask, why not me? Why can't I? I can. So yeah, it's really powerful.
What was the biggest reason for your leap, or what was the kind of the moment of, like the purpose behind your leap, really?
I think there are two real big things. Now, my big why is always my son. When I come back to his face, what I want him to see that I accomplished or that I did. And when I tell him to go for it, or you can do anything, don't ever sell yourself short. I want him to see that I didn't sell myself short, or that I go for it, or setting the example of what's possible. To me, that's so huge. And The other piece is that I feel really lit up when I do this work. So it doesn't drain me at all. A day doing this goes by like feels like 5 minutes because I'm just so in love. I'm so in love with the work. So I've got the why, but also the real calling and the passion and the love for what I'm doing.
Mm.
Wow.
Okay, let's jump into the next thing before I keep asking you questions because I'm so curious.
No, it's so good. So good. So yes, number 5. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Number 4, realign. So the next thing, oh my gosh, this is so good, but it's important. Realigning with who you truly are at your core. Over the years, we've kind of been conditioned to show up one way, but when you really get back to your core values, it's like an unbecoming, almost unbecoming all the things that were never really you. So you get to revisit what really matters at your core. Things for me like integrity, loyalty, always showing up from a place of love, not a place of proving yourself or being defensive but it's getting back to your core values, who you really are on the inside, kind of before the world got its hands on you.
These are the tips I wish someone gave me as a playbook when I was redefining my life and realigning to my core values. I think was a big part of my discovering of the new purpose in life. When you walk out of a career, or for me, it was a relationship at the time, and the whole life really I built, I had to rebuild everything from scratch again. So this was really powerful way to get back on track, to realign back to my core values.
Yeah. To go inside. And it's okay to go inside and kind of shut out all the outside noise, all the distractions that are kind of pulling you back to your old self or to the way it's always been or the way it's always been done. Or it's okay to question why you're doing something or question why something's done a certain way, or even a thought like, where did that thought come from? Is that me? Do I really think that? So it's okay to question some of the things that are coming up for you as you start to realign and figure out who you really are again.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of fun.
It is. Like I said, knowing your journey and also having experience on these things, it's like getting to meet yourself for the first time again with a new version of you and getting excited. Like I was getting excited about traveling again and going on adventures, and that's what I do for my soul. And it was like discovering myself again and the world at the same time.
Yes, right? That's so fun and so cool, and just, yeah, figuring out, who I am again.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me at one point in this journey, and it's very early on, but they said, well, what do you like to do anyway? And I didn't know. It was like, I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't know what I liked to do anymore. It was whatever anybody else was doing. Where they want to go to eat, perfect. What do you want to do today? Oh, that's perfect. I had no idea.
Yeah. Wow.
But now I can fill a day. It could go by like this. I know what I love. I know what lights me up. I know what drains me. I know. I know.
Yeah. Wow. And it's amazing because and that's the part of you doing the work. When you do the work and you go through this process, which you're sharing with us, which clearly this is how you found out, it shows because you show up differently, and how you live your life and your self-awareness becomes completely different if you didn't have that before. Okay, last but not least, so we got 5 keys. We got first, accountability, awareness, redefine, realign. So one more to go.
And the final one is the fun one. That's where you get to rise. That's where you get to show up differently. That's where you get to show up as that really powerful version of yourself. When you've done the work, you know who you are, you know what you want, and just start showing up that way. And it can be a little bit scary at first because you're leaving the comfort zone, and the comfort zone doesn't feel like a terrible place. It's safe, it's comfortable. That's why they call it that. It doesn't come in like a storm. It's a very comfortable place. But when you rise, you start to take action. You start to walk differently, talk differently, start to do different things. And by doing so, you start to attract different into your life. You start to attract different people, places, opportunities, and your circle changes. Just when you rise, everything around you rises. And anything that doesn't match who you are kind of falls off as a natural progression. It just does. But that final stage is where you just start to show up differently, intentionally.
What does it feel like on the inside to rise to your highest version of yourself?
Such a good question. It is just an inner knowing that you are on the right path. You start to trust your own intuition, your guidance, your internal guidance. It doesn't come from the outside anymore. You know what's meant for you. You know when things are a yes. You know when things are a no. And you're also not afraid to say no to things that are not aligned with you anymore. And you also feel just an inner peace, and almost like your soul is kind of on fire because there's a drive in you that maybe wasn't present before. Things don't feel forced. It's really being in alignment with who you are, or who you always were. But I think it's just an inner knowing. You feel like you're on the right track, and all the guidance comes from inside.
Yeah. I know that from experience, when you are in that high vibration state and you live in your true purpose, you start to attract things. So for me, it happened very quickly. When I started to get really aligned, I things started to drop off, as you said, but I started to attract things like new relationship, a loving, supportive, amazing relationship, family, amazing clients who are aligned to my vision, my purpose, amazing team members. So it's just, everything just started to manifest itself so quickly. The minute I started to really rise to my highest version of myself, show up differently, and then people just, and things started to attract itself to me.
Absolutely. And that's how it happens. When you start to show up differently, the world starts to present itself differently. Everything looks different. Like Wayne Dyer always said, when you look at things differently, the things you look at change. Or when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And it's so true. It's all about perspective. And yeah.
Amazing. Well, Karen, these 5 tips I think is going to be invaluable for someone who's looking for their purpose, their path, and redefining what success means to them. So I'm really excited that we got to share these 5 keys. Absolute gold. If I had this playbook a couple of years ago, it would have been so much easier for me.
I know, me too. Oh,
Karen,
thank you for having me today. This was great.
How do people connect with you?
So you can find me on social media. On Facebook and Instagram is where I kind of tend to hang out. Or you can visit my website at karensarmento.com. I hold a monthly workshop, and it's always available to sign up on the website there. You can see what I do and what I'm all about. But Facebook and Instagram is where you can connect with me anytime.
Amazing. I've been to some of your workshops, and they're so soul-filling and just beautiful reminders to women who are looking for new definition of life and success on their own terms. It's just a beautiful gift. So if you get to attend one of Karen's workshops. Highly recommend that you do. And sometimes it just takes a drop of a message. So make sure you send a message to Karen on her Instagram handle, which is again
At Karen Sarmento. Yes.
amazing. Karen, this was such a joy to have you on our show today, and I look forward to having many more conversations with you.
Thank you so much for having me, Raimonda. It was absolutely my pleasure.
Thank you to all of you who got the opportunity to listen to this show. And if you feel like you resonated with this message and maybe you know somebody else who may need this, please make sure you share it to your audience as well. This is our Women Thrive TV show, The 5 Keys to Thrive, sharing all the secrets that you wish you knew before you got here. So, or you wish you knew sooner. We regularly interview amazing women on our show, and I highly recommend that you tap into all the other episodes of the show. For now, thank you so much for tapping in, and look forward to seeing you on another show. Take care.